Have you ever trusted someone and later realized you completely misread them? What if the reason you keep getting confused and maybe even hurt by people is not because they're complicated, but because you're ignoring what's obvious? Once you understand what I'm about to show you, you'll stop second-guessing people and start reading them with quiet certainty. You'll notice things others completely miss, and you'll finally understand why some interactions drain you, while others don't. But be careful. Once you see this, you won't be able to unsee it. Many people believe they struggle with reading others because they're bad listeners, or not intuitive enough. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is this: you were taught to listen to words instead of observing behavior, because people don't speak from pure truth. They speak from who they think they need to be. Sometimes to be liked, sometimes to avoid conflict, sometimes just to feel safe. So when you take everything at face value, you're not seeing the person, you're seeing the version they've learned to present. At its core, reading people is not about analyzing every detail, it's about noticing where things don't align. Because people rarely reveal themselves clearly in what they say. They reveal themselves in small inconsistencies, in moments of tension, in subtle contradictions. Think about it like this: anyone can control their words for a few minutes, but no one can fully control their patterns, and patterns always tell the truth. The following 5 principles might completely change the way you see people. And trust me, once you understand the last one, you'll never take anything personally again. Principle 1. What you see is often a strategy, not the truth. Most people assume this is just how they are, but the truth is, this is how they learn to be. For example, you meet someone who is always overly nice. They agree with everything. They avoid any kind of conflict. At first, it feels pleasant, but over time, something feels off, because there's no depth, no resistance, no real opinion. And that's your clue. You're not dealing with pure kindness. You're dealing with someone who may be afraid of rejection, or afraid of not being liked. The same applies in the opposite direction. Someone who always appears confident, dominant, even a bit intimidating, may not feel secure at all. They may have learned that control creates safety. So next time you meet someone, instead of asking, "Do I like them?" ask, "What role are they playing right now?" Because once you see the role, you start seeing the person behind it. Principle 2. Pay attention to what makes someone uncomfortable. This is one of the most powerful shifts you can make. Most people focus on when interactions feel smooth, but the truth reveals itself in friction. Let's say you ask someone a simple question: "Do you actually like what you are doing?" And they laugh it off, change the subject, or give you a quick, polished answer. That moment, that's not random, that's information, because you just touched a place they don't feel safe going. Or you bring up something slightly controversial, and suddenly, everything shifts. Their tone tightens, they get defensive, or start over-explaining. That's the signal. That's not about you. That's about something unresolved in them. Because people don't get uncomfortable without a reason. So instead of avoiding these moments, start observing them. Because discomfort is like a doorway, and behind it is the truth they're not showing directly. And the next principle is where things start to become very clear. Principle 3. What someone judges in others is a mirror. Have you ever noticed how some people repeat the same criticism over and over again? "She's so arrogant. He's so fake. They're too emotional." At first, it sounds like a normal opinion, but if it keeps coming up, it's not just observation, it's projection. For example, someone constantly complains about attention seekers, but if you look closer, they themselves crave validation, they just express it differently. Or someone criticizes others for being too sensitive, but in reality, they're uncomfortable with their own emotions. So instead of reacting immediately when someone judges you or others, pause and ask yourself, what does this say about them? Because people reveal their inner conflicts more through judgment than through honesty. Principle 4. Silence and avoidance are answers. Most people think if someone doesn't say anything, there's nothing to read, but silence is never empty. Let's say you bring up something important, maybe clarity in a relationship or a deeper conversation, and instead of engaging, they become vague. They delay. They say things like, "I don't know, let's talk about it later," or they simply disappear. That's not confusion, that's avoidance. And avoidance is information. It tells you this person is not ready or not willing to meet you at that level. Have you ever heard the phrase, actions speak louder than words? This is where it becomes real. If someone says they care about you, but avoids any real commitment or depth, words say one thing, behavior says another, and your job is to trust the pattern, not the promise. And the next principle is one you probably didn't see coming. Principle 5. Strong statements often hide weak points. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm always fine. I never get affected. We've all heard statements like this, and maybe you've even said them yourself. But here's the truth. People rarely speak in absolutes when they feel secure. They speak in absolutes when they're trying to protect something. Think about Selena Gomez. For years, she appeared composed, successful, completely fine on the outside. One of the most followed women in the world. Actress, singer, global icon. But in her documentary, My Mind and Me, she showed the truth. She revealed what was really happening behind the scenes. The pressure, the exhaustion, the loneliness, the moments where she simply couldn't keep up the image anymore. And you see the same pattern again. With Bella Hadid, a global supermodel known for her striking presence and influence in the fashion world. From the outside, perfect, confident, untouchable. But then she opened up, and behind that image, anxiety, overwhelm, and a completely different reality. And that's the point. People don't always hide the truth on purpose, but they still reveal it in their patterns. The truth is, someone who insists they're always happy, maybe avoiding something painful. Someone who constantly tells you they don't care about opinions, often cares deeply. So instead of taking strong statements literally, listen underneath them. Because exaggeration is not confidence. It's often a shield. Principle 6. Behavior is driven by fear more than desire. Most people explain their actions like this: I want success, I want love, I want freedom, but behavior is often driven by the opposite: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being exposed. For example, someone keeps over-explaining themselves, not because they love talking, but because they're afraid of being misunderstood. Someone avoids difficult conversations, not because they don't care, but because they fear conflict. Someone tries to control everything, not because they're strong, but because they feel unstable inside. So when you look at behavior, don't just ask what someone wants. Ask, what are they trying to avoid? Because fear leaves patterns, and patterns reveal truth. Now you are at the point where everything changes. Because once you start seeing these patterns, you stop reacting the same way. Someone criticizes you, and instead of taking it personally, you understand the source. Once you truly internalize this, you become very different in how you move through the world. You stop chasing clarity from people who are unclear themselves. You stop needing constant reassurance. You stop ignoring your intuition. Because now, you see the hesitation behind the words, the insecurity behind the confidence, the fear behind the behavior, and instead of reacting impulsively, you understand what's really behind their words. And people may feel a quiet sense of relief, because they can finally be real, because someone truly sees them. Maybe this is the beginning of real connection, instead of constant misunderstanding. When someone finally breaks the cycle,